The Bully Girl Magazine podcast is your dog-eared audio destination, bookmarking the most compelling tales and insights from the vast canine universe. While we passionately dive into the world of bully breeds, dispelling myths, offering training tips, and discussing breed standards, our scope isn't limited. We cast our net wide to encompass a diverse range of dog breeds, ensuring no tale is left untold. Enhanced by expert interviews and inspiring stories, this podcast is a beacon for responsible ownership and breed education. It's where bully breed enthusiasts meet the broader dog-loving community, fostering unity, understanding, and shared joy in every bark and wag. So whether you're out walking your dog or listening at home, be sure to enjoy the show and keep coming back. Hi, I'm Lisa Davis. So glad you are listening or watching, and I hope you're watching the Bully Girl Magazine podcast. Joining us today is Leah LeDuc and her husband Steve, who foster a unique blend of passion and professionalism at Heart and Soul Bullies in the heart of Northern Maryland. And they have got some gorgeous dogs. Hello, you two beautiful people, and you four gorgeous dogs. How are you?
Thank you. We are fine. We are fine. We've got Tomato right here with the heart shirt right here. This is Tomato's mom, Ladybird.
Wow.
And this is Cupcake.
Okay.
And this is Herbie. We also have
I love it. You know what?
Herbie. Yeah.
He's a mini fluffy bully.
Yeah. And then in the corner chewing on a bone is Voodoo.
Oh my gosh.
Get that bone out of
it would be heaven. I mean, I've got a lab, so I appreciate seeing the Yorkie, but if I had it my way, it would be all pits or bullies all of the time. So I always ask each guest the same two questions. So the first one is, does your dog or dogs do something funny, quirky, or different? Leah, if you want to share about any of them, Cupcake or the others.
Definitely. They definitely all do quirky things for sure. One of the funniest things I think that all of them do together is literally pile up like a vertical sandwich on top of each other. Just like this.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But on their own accord. Now they're just trying to get comfortable because we're all trying to fit on the couch here.
Yeah.
But
you look amazing.
They pile up. They're hilarious. Every single one of these girls, they're all females, by the way.
Nice.
Except Herbie. Every single one of these dogs has their own unique personality for sure.
That's great.
Tomato is always making us laugh. She's the youngest. She's kind of like the crazy one.
She's
also.
Such a mush.
She makes funny noises, and Voodoo's hilarious. She always makes us laugh because when she's so happy, she's the one that shakes her whole body. It's the whole body wave.
I'd love that.
I'd say the one quirky thing about Cupcake that I think is the funniest is she's creepy. She'll sit and stare through our fence at our neighbors. We're waiting for our neighbors to come out of their house for hours and just sit and stare through
You're a
little tiny crack in the fence.
I gotta see a picture of that.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Now, Leah, when did your love of dogs begin? And then when did your love of bully breeds begin in particular? And then Steve, the same question for you.
So I had a dog growing up. So of course it started there. We adopted a puppy, a mixed breed, nothing special, but she was special to us.
Yeah.
After high school, I joined the military. I was in the Air Force for about 6 years. When I was in the military, I really got interested in dogs through the military police who were on the flight line. They were training, all the time. They had the German Shepherds and they wore these little booties. I was curious about why they did that, so I started talking to them and learning about why they did that. And then after that, I started kind of feeling like I wanted to start working with dogs, and I met this lady on the base who groomed dogs, and so I volunteered to help her groom the dogs, and I really started getting into it. After I got out of the Air Force, I started going to college to be a teacher. We're both teachers now.
Oh, nice.
And while I was going to school, I worked at PetSmart as a dog groomer, and that's where Stephen and I met, and so Dog Grooming Academy. And so we really have a love for all the breeds. We know all the breeds very well. And we started training and grooming, and we did that for about 10 years. And then we started... We've had lots of dogs.
Yeah, we've had
many dogs.
I don't think I've ever not had a dog.
Yeah, and we've had some really, really special dogs. And then after we lost one of our most special dogs, we got a Presa Canario, and that was kind of our introduction into the bully breed.
Yeah.
He died early. And I've always had Yorkies too, which is a very different breed compared to a Yorkie. We had our Presa Canario, and he died early, unfortunately. And after him, we decided that we wanted a less, how do you mean?
We wanted to go a different route because his name was Sumo. With Sumo, he was a very Presa Canario. He was protective of the family. Loved our family to death, but did not like other dogs and was not a fan of strangers. Anytime we had like family over, like our own like extended family over, he was always good with them. But it was always like a worry, like, oh my good, is he going to try to protect the kids or something like that?
A little too protective for us.
Yeah.
So what we decided, again, to go a totally different route. We wanted a dog that was friendly, welcoming to strangers, welcoming to other dogs. And then we learned about the American Bully and completely fell in love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
that is so
and
nice.
that was Ladybird. Here, can you hold this space for me?
Yeah.
That was Ladybird, our first American Bully. She's right here.
Hi,
She's a big lady.
Oh,
And she's the matriarch of the house. She hates any kind of cameras. She will turn away, and
Blue gets like
that's one of the funny things about her. Like anytime a camera comes close,
right.
she's looking the other way.
Oh,
like,
that's so funny.
But yeah, she's the matriarch of the house, the top lady, the mama. After Ladybird, from Gatorhead Bullies, that's where Cupcake and Voodoo are both from. Gatorhead Bullies, which is probably one of the people we look up to a lot in this community. A lot of her dogs are raised in the home, family dogs, you know, that whole atmosphere is what we were looking for. So we got Voodoo and Cupcake at the same time, at the same age, and Ladybird was already 1.5, so she kind of was their mama in a way, and she raised them from 8 weeks. And so she's just the most fantastic dog. Yeah. She is the reason that we are Heart and Soul. And I know my shirt's backwards, but
that's okay.
She is the reason. Some dogs really just have that feeling, you know, and they really connect to you. Yes. And Ladybird, she is the all around. Talk about her.
Oh man,
she's something special.
Like we already said, we've had dogs our whole lives, and she's unquestionably the most probably just well-balanced dog that we've ever had as far as temperament and drive and confidence. The level of confidence she has is just outstanding. Yeah. Yep. So
it's nice. She sounds like my Blue.
Amazing for a foundation. Oh yeah, the blue brindle too is just stunning to me.
She's the whole picture. She's
gorgeous.
She's the type of dog. She's great with kids.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we just can't talk enough about this dog. And it's like, there's a connection where some dogs you really like feel their soul. And that's where our name comes from. And some dogs, there's just such a connection. And for me, that's what I have with Voodoo. I know, like, what's that movie, Twilight, where the werewolves like imprint.
Yeah.
Some dogs I feel definitely some dogs imprint on people. Yes. And Voodoo, she's over here. I'll bring her over here.
She's your soulmate.
Okay. She's my soulmate. And she imprinted on me when she was a puppy. And it's just this is what we love, and we found a way to make it our business.
So nice. See, I love that.
Yeah. After let me see where I left off. When we met each other and we were grooming, after that we were teachers. We had our own kids. We have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. And after I had them, I decided to stay home from teaching and have the kids. And then COVID happened. Well, I think that changed everybody's lives. It changed our life in the way that we realized how important family is. And so at that point, we decided that we were going to try and follow our dream and where our hearts are. And that is with these animals. And so we decided to start the business there. And so
still teachers though.
We are. Yes, we still do a lot.
How do you balance everything? All the dogs, the kids, the teaching, like how do you balance it all?
Yeah.
How do we balance it all?
It is a lot of a balance. I'm subbing. So as far as the dog breeding and showing, the subbing allows me the flexibility to work when I can work. And then when things come up, if the kids are sick or something, I can, I don't have to work. Or if we have a litter of puppies, I don't have to work. So he's the full-time on call at work all the time. And then I can have a little flexibility. Right now I'm subbing for a long time, right up until Christmas, because that's when we're expecting our next litter.
So it is it's a constant thing, working to find that balance. But when it's something that you love doing, when it's something you have a passion for, it's really not that bad.
We would have this many dogs, even if we weren't showing them and training them.
Oh, they're so beautiful. Bullies are such big mushes. And the way you talk about Ladybird is the way I talk about Blue, like Blue Nose Pit. And it's endless. And I feel like people are like, oh my gosh, there she goes again. I don't think they understand. Like I joke with my husband, I'll say Blue's my soulmate. I go, I mean my soulmate dog. He goes, oh no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, we totally get it.
Because it's just, there's such, and I love my lab, but it's not the same, right?
Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference in the connection.
Right. Yeah. And some dogs really connect. Cupcake is very connected to our 2 kids. Oh, she's nice. Like, It's amazing. But let me get my soulmate. All right, tomato.
I love
Come
that
on, little baby.
cupcake.
Come on.
Now, Steve, what about you? When did your love of dogs begin, and then your love of bully breeds?
Really the same as Leia. I grew up with dogs my whole life. I can't remember ever not having a dog. I was always more connected with dogs than I was with people. I think I've heard more than one person say this on your show.
Yeah.
I've always felt more of a connection with dogs than people, to the point where, like, as a kid, if I was going over to a friend's house, my question was always, "Do you guys have a dog?" Or
Right.
if I knew
Yeah,
that my
me
mom
too.
was bringing us somewhere, my question was always, "Do they have a dog?" And yeah, so I think that's kind of where it started.
Oh, that is so nice. Now, tell us about the Catahoula mix. I know that
Oh, the
that
Catahoula.
influenced
Oh
you.
man, you're talking about my
Now I have to get that
boy.
picture.
Oh goodness. Again,
You
you can
guys
see
are
the passion. You
awesome.
can see how excited we are to talk about our dogs.
I love it. I
Um,
want to come over and hang out.
the
Bring Luke.
Catahoula, it would be awesome. They would love you.
Okay, this is a very old picture.
Let me
But
see.
this it's very faded, but that's Stephen on our wedding
Beautiful.
day, and that's the
Oh.
Catahoula.
He was the best.
Yeah,
Man.
he was the best
He
man
was
at
my
our
best
wedding.
man at my wedding. His name was Riri. He was a Catahoula leopard dog mix, and I rescued him. I had to actually almost physically wrestle him away from a friend of mine who wanted to adopt him at the same time. And he was, before Ladybird, he was the best dog I ever owned, to the point where I had to live out of my car for a solid like 6 months before I got my apartment so that I could keep him, just because I needed him. I needed him in my life. So
Wow.
it was a very, very strong connection. Same thing like with Voodoo. And
Yeah, just like the soul of a dog. He and Ladybird are why we did this.
Oh, that's
It was just it's when you know a dog like that, and Riri, everybody who knew him knew what we
he
mean.
was special.
You know, he was
Yeah.
special. It's like, oh yeah, that dog. You know, right?
that's
And that's
so
what I have with this one
nice.
right here.
And you guys breed XLs?
Yes, ma'am.
Bullies? Okay.
We don't breed for size, really.
Yeah.
Right.
We like a bigger dog.
Mm-hmm.
But our breedings so far have been XL to standard dogs.
Okay.
So we're not really that worried about them being a certain height. We just like a little bit of a bigger dog. So if they happen to be a standard size, fantastic. If they happen to be XL size, that's fine too. We do prefer the smaller XLs.
Yeah.
To kind of conform more to the standard. I think it's very important, especially these days, to make sure that we are breeding towards the standard.
Oh, they're all just so beautiful. Well, let's talk about the socialization. I really love that you do early neurological stimulation, ENS, and also something called early scent introduction. Tell us about both of these. And I apologize. It's Leia, right? Not Leah. I was calling you Leah. Is it?
Leia.
It's
Yeah,
Leia.
it's okay.
Beautiful.
It's like the princess in
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's
Beautiful.
Okay. Like the princess.
Yes.
Yes, we do the early neurological stimulation. I've heard people talk about it, so I'm glad people are doing it.
Yeah.
Start at
and then-
4 days old.
Nice.
And early scent introduction. And it's kind of two things along the same lines. The early scent introduction is just stimulating their brain function for life to have lots of different stimulations and lots of different experiences, and to get to know different smells, sounds, everything all rolled into one. So it's something really important.
Helps to build their intelligence and build their ability to handle stressful situations as they get older.
Right.
Oh, that's really nice.
And it's
how
all based in research.
Yeah,
so.
and I understand that it's like taking a Q-tip and sort of going over certain areas on their paws, or
Right, that's
like
the
lifting
neurological
them up and
stimulation.
down.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we have many lives from when we had Ladybird's litter, showing how we do it. We go through all the steps with each
Oh.
puppy, and one of the things that they hate the most, but it's part of it, is you put them on like a cold pack, and it makes them go, oh, I don't like this, you know, just like an ice pack you put in your kid's lunch. But just that alone it turns on some neurons in their brains, and it prepares them for stressful situations in the future.
Oh, I see. And let's talk about diet. What do you feed your beautiful dogs?
So we feed what's it called?
Taste of the Wild, Ancient Mountain.
Ancient Mountain. It's a lamb-based food. It's kibble. We've tried different kibbles. We've tried Victor is a big brand that a lot of bully breeders use. We weren't too thrilled with it. We got kind of different results with it. So we switched to this one. We're really happy with this brand.
But go ahead. We don't just feed kibble.
Right. We don't just
Right.
feed kibble. We definitely supplement with all kinds of healthy things, healthy fats, healthy oils,
Okay.
garlic, turmeric,
Oh.
coconut oil, all kinds of fruits and vegetables. So we add yogurt. I mean, the list goes on. It's certainly not every day. Sauerkraut, all the things that
That's so
make our
important.
bodies healthy usually also make dogs' bodies.
Yeah, and in the blog post on bgmwarehouse.com, you talk about individualized nutrition. So have you seen that some dogs do better with a little extra yogurt or a little extra turmeric, or do you kind of just give it to all of them and see how they do?
Yeah, I definitely like Cupcake, for example. She has a little bit more sensitive stomach. So
Yes, like
if we're
Blue.
giving sauerkraut or something like that, that's a little bit more acidic, we won't give her as much because she will have a little bit of like, from that. But the other ones pretty much they handle it just fine. We've got healthy dogs, so we're happy. This food is doing very well for them. People always talk about our dogs' coats all the
They're
time.
beautiful.
And I mean, we don't wash them more often than you should, which is about once a month.
Yeah.
And they're always very shiny and healthy. So we're
Now,
happy
do
with
you
the
use
nutrition right now.
supplements for the oil, or do you have a certain type that you get for dogs? What do you give them in terms of the healthy?
Shampoo?
Oh,
No, for
the
the oil.
oils, the healthy oils.
Oh no! I mean, we buy the big jug at Costco of the coconut oil, and I mean that's organic. I mean, you try and buy organic as much as you do for yourself. So we do that. One of the main reasons we don't do raw, which we would, is just the price. If you want quality raw, you want to make sure you're buying quality. So that I mean, it's a very expensive way to go. So that's why we don't do that, but we certainly would if we could.
And we've also used like the fish oil that you pump directly into the food too.
Yep, fish oil.
Just try to rotate it.
All kinds of supplements. Just not everything every day and everything in moderation.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I understand that for your exercise, you guys like to go on pack walks, and you talk about something for people who might not know what this is. Flirt pole and spring pole sessions. Talk to us about those.
Yeah. Oh, well, you talk about that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
Pack walks usually involve all of the dogs minus this guy.
Yeah.
Just because he's 1,000 years old, he can't really go on the pack walks with us as much.
Yeah, Benji's getting up there.
Yeah, we don't want him to get stepped on or anything. But the pack walks usually involve all the dogs plus the kids.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We have the dogs very, very well trained to walk well on a leash. We do use pinch collars in certain situations. Prong collars, I call them pinch. I think
Yeah,
pinch
they're
collars.
in both. I was just saying.
We get a lot of negative comments on social media when they see pinch collars, and I always want to like stop and educate and explain that this is just a tool, just like any tool. A pinch collar, you can use a tool improperly and you can do damage, but if you use it appropriately, you can really do some good with it. Like I said, we can walk all of our dogs with our babies. We have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they walk the dogs on a leash too. And we like to go downtown, socialize with the kids and with the dogs all the time. But the dogs love more than anything the flirt pole. And what we do is the flirt pole is just a long stick with a long string on the end,
like a fishing pole, kind
of like a fishing rod with a long string on the end with a little lure on the tip of it, and you just run them just in a straight circle. Go in a straight circle, a big circle, and they all chase it, and they will chase it until they drop. They absolutely love chasing it. That's her favorite thing on the planet, Lady Bird.
Oh, really? Oh, that sounds so much fun. Well, you know what's interesting is I actually use the what is it called? The prong collar for Blue. He doesn't pull like he used to because now he's 8. But when he was young, it was insane. I recently ordered something from Etsy that Velcros around it. So you can't see that it's
hide it.
Yeah. So look on Etsy and other
moms.
because they don't get it.
No, they really don't. It's and I get it. I understand the passion. You want to protect a dog. If you see a dog you want to say something. Of course. But you got to educate yourself. You got to understand. It serves a purpose, and it's for the health and benefit of your dogs and yourself
and the dogs that you may come across. And it's also much more safe for the dog than like a choke collar that
constantly
presses on the esophagus. So, and I mean, there's a ton of theory behind a prong collar. A prong collar is mimicking the mother's bite. That's why there's so many prongs. So, so that when the dog feels the pressure all the way around, it's and people also, one thing people don't realize is you don't have to put a lot of pressure at all. It's a very light touch.
Yes.
So we do get a lot of hate online when people see us with pictures of them in the prong collar, but you can't please everyone. If you have a large dog or 4 at the same time, you're going to want something.
Yes.
You gotta have control over your dogs.
You have to have control.
You do.
Especially in public.
Do. Yeah. My first dog, I didn't get till I was 33. He was a pit mix, Bailey. I would just use a regular collar and his trachea. I mean, it's a nice,
Mhm.
You know, sorry everyone, I'm sure that was lovely, but it was
Yeah, I'm
awful.
good.
So I thought I'm not
That's
doing that with Blue.
Right.
And you know, sometimes I'll do like if he's going in the car, he needs to be in a seatbelt, so I'll put the little harness on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I notice that when I walk him around downtown with the harness, people just come right up to him and are fine. But if
Yeah.
he's a pit bull on a choke collar or a prong collar, they're a little weary. So
Yeah.
when I take him around downtown and he doesn't pull as much, I can actually do the, you know, little thing. And he looks adorable in his little,
Mhm.
you know, whatever that I just said that thing was called. But because I think it's so important to have your dog seat belted because they're big. And if you crash,
Mhm.
they're going to,
Yep.
Oh yeah,
and they
absolutely.
can
sure.
knock you in the back of the head. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
that would not
Yeah.
be good.
And I mean, something too with a harness. I mean, it's
Harness.
great if your dog doesn't pull, but
Right.
what people don't realize, a harness, this is the strongest part of the dog's body.
That's
I mean,
true.
they're literally, they make harnesses to pull sleds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what a harness is for. So,
Yeah. You're right. It's only because he doesn't pull as much as he used
yeah,
to. Right.
good.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and,
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
and we don't always use
Mhm.
pinch collars either. There's situations where we walk our dogs
It's
that will only
situational.
have one or two dogs.
Cupcake doesn't really need one most of the time at all.
Okay.
So, they're all different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it can be frustrating. Blue has this annoying habit where he loves other dogs so much that he'll practically rip my arm off just to say hi.
Right.
But then he looks like, and he's smiling, you know, it's like, but it's off-putting. So I'm really working on him with that or children. He loves children. We're walking down the street yesterday. He sees this little boy and he just goes nuts. He's so excited and happy. And luckily the parents are like, oh yeah, come say hello.
Yeah.
But it, you know, no matter what kind of dog, it can be a little much. He's like dragging me to see this child. But
They
pit
love
bulls and
people.
kids.
I love it. That's what's yeah.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it too. Now talk to us about the process. If we wanted to get a dog from Heart and Soul Bullies, just walk us through the whole thing.
Well, we hope that people see us through our many, many, many videos that we put online and our pictures, and it shows because our videos especially really encapsulate who we are.
Yeah.
You see Stephen and I, you see our kids with our dogs.
That's great.
And this crazy one laying, that's another funny thing about Ladybird, actually. She's always on her back, you know? Like,
Making
you turn
noise,
around,
trying
she's
to
on
get
her back
attention.
upside down. Oh, what's that noise? And she's just, you know, upside down on her back.
Oh my gosh.
She's kicking me right now. So we hope that you see us through our videos. We work really hard to show every aspect and every angle of our dogs, which is another thing that not everybody does. We are very transparent and honest about our dogs, any flaws that they may have. If you get on our Instagram page, you're going to see every single dog from every single angle, the front, the back, the side.
That's nice.
So if you want one of our dogs you have to express interest. You got to let us know. You send us a message on Instagram. We're very picky about the homes that our dogs end up in. We want to know that the home that they end up in is the home that they're going to stay in. We want to know that they're going to be loved as much as they would be loved in our home.
Yeah.
So there is like an extensive process where, you know, social media is the really good way to do research on people. So, you know, we dig real deep into social media, many phone conversations, many to the point where we kind of, when you do get a dog from us, we kind of become family because we want to know anything that's going on in the dog's life, because that teaches us how we proceed and how we move forward. So many phone conversations. We've got questionnaires, applications. We're very strict with doing our contracts. And
Yeah,
that type
we have
of thing.
a really good contract that protects us and it protects the buyer
good.
from all kinds of situations, which is important because when you're buying a dog for a lot of money, I mean, for example, we bought Cupcake and Voodoo from Gatorhead Bullies. That's a lot of money you're putting down. You want to feel safe as a buyer too. And we felt that, and, you know, sending that much money over the internet, you know, it's like, wow, what am I doing? Yeah. And we want to make people feel safe too and understand, hey, we're real people. You can feel safe with us. You can trust us. We are who we say we are. Look at our videos. This is us.
Oh, that's great. You know what I didn't ask you about earlier, and I meant to, is the health testing of your dogs, which is so important before breeding. Talk to us about what you do.
All of our dogs have been, at the very least, embark cleared. We do embark all of our dogs. All of the dogs from the breeding from our foundation dogs will be pen, hip, and OFA tested, and everything's going to be documented. That's very important to make sure that you are breeding in a positive direction. In order to do that, you need to do health testing because you don't want to take a dog with one genetic issue, breed it with another dog with the same genetic issue, and then have even worse issues than you started with. That's why, at the very, very least, it's important to at least get the embark testing, or even the wisdom panel testing. But even more importantly, you want to make sure that you've got dogs with good hips and a good heart. And all that is very important in order to be a good breeder, a breeder who's, a lot of people say that they're doing it for the love of the dog and they want to improve the breed. The only way to improve the breed is to know what you're breeding and to breed in the right direction. And that's through health testing.
And that also showing when going to shows helps when you see dogs in person and actually put hands on the dogs and see the dog in person. That really helps a lot for your choosing. Like you're going to go see a dog in 2 weeks. He's going to drive 6 hours just to see a dog that we could potentially use in the future.
And part of that visit is I want to see the dog move. I want to put hands on the dog. I want to get a feel of that dog's temperament, because I don't want to just pull any old dog into our program. I want to know that it actually meets our expectations of quality.
Yeah. Is that
so
Tomato?
I'm going to look at that dog's movement and everything like that too.
Teeth.
Is that Tomato?
Yeah.
This is Tomato, yeah.
This is baby Tomato. Yeah,
So
she's
cute.
1 year old right now.
How old is she?
Yeah, she's 1 year.
Oh my
Yep,
God,
she's Lady Bird's daughter.
She's so
And
mellow.
she shows all the time, and
she's a daughter of course, like we said, Lady Bird and Grand Champion Samson. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a standard dog, probably one of the most well-known standard American bullies that are out there.
Yeah, he's
super
he's won nationals 3 times.
Oh wow!
So picking a dog with an excellent pedigree and a dog who is a champion, I mean that's extra to add to the package, because not only is it me saying this dog comes from, but it's all the judges who have put the parents of the dogs through. So
yeah,
boy, she's so cute.
She is. Oh my God, I just want to mush her so badly. She reminds me so much of Blue. She's such a mush. How did you come up with the name Tomato? I just love it.
Good question. I love this question because everybody laughed at us too when we kept the name Tomato.
Yeah.
So the name Tomato came because Lady Bird's whole litter, we let our children name the litter, and they were almost all named after foods. So we had butter, pumpkin, tomato, big pie, cheese. So you can see, and then we had the random blue and the sweetie. But so those were all their names, and then Tomato was our first choice, and we ended up keeping Tomato. So we kept the name because it kind of suits her, and it's funny, and I like to laugh. And people give us crap about Cupcake's name all the time.
Oh, I love Cupcake.
Obviously, we obviously chose it to be ironic. So
of course,
it's just funny.
Now, what was the last one? The smoothie? I apologize.
Sweetie.
Oh, Sweetie.
Oh, I thought you said like blueberry smoothie. I'm like,
that's actually a good name for one of the next ones, though. I like that.
I like Cupcake. I like Tomato. Big Pie is just funny.
And Big Pie is our top male dog of the litter, and his name is Kingston. And I just want to mention this because we should, that we are partnered with an excellent couple who is our friends now, and they are Heart and Soul Bullies Jersey, and they own Kingston. And so one of the puppies that Cupcake has, they will be getting the first choice female and continuing the line on that end, and we'll be keeping a voodoo female here.
Oh, nice.
So that's our partner and great people, Salim and Megan. Hey.
That's awesome. Now, have you ever had someone who wanted to rehome their dog, and do you say bring the dog back? Don't just, give it to somebody else?
We haven't had that happen yet.
Good.
But what we do have in our contract is a clause that says if that dog needs to be rehomed for any reason, we are the first people that you contact.
Right.
All of our dogs, when you get a puppy from us, they come microchipped.
Okay.
And we always remain, again, it's in the contract. We remain the secondary point of contact on that microchip, because if for some reason that dog were to run away or to be given up to the SPCA or something like that, when they scan that, they should call us so that we know where it is, and we will, do our best to get that dog back to us to make sure that it ends up in a good home.
That's good. What do you hope to see in the bully world that you don't see now in the next 10 years or so?
So much.
I like that.
A lot of our experience, I have to say, comes with our history in grooming and training and being familiar with lots of other breeds. So like beagles, for example, when you see a beagle, you know it's a beagle. So that's one of the trends that we are hoping to see continue, to people more breeding to the standard.
Right.
No dog is perfect. We know that. But as long as you're breeding closer to the standard and choosing a dog, then then that's the way to go. And healthy dogs too. And that's one of the reasons we're in this category, which, like Steven said earlier, is not XL giant dogs, but just, I mean, she's 1 inch into the XL category. So
okay.
they're still smaller, but their legs are longer. They're just a more overall athletic dog. I mean, this dog can jump as high as my head.
Yeah, she's
5 feet.
very
Oh,
athletic.
wow.
Yeah. So we like to see a dog that's not constantly panting all the time. We see that a lot at shows. A dog that can't handle 10 minutes of exercise without,
Yeah.
Also, we'd like to see the community get along. We should all really get along and work together towards the betterment of the breed.
Right.
One of the things that we see a lot of is when we come away from shows, we don't win all the time, but we don't win a lot even. And that's okay. That's okay. There's always better dogs. But there's always the negative comments and it's always the negativity and venom towards people when they didn't even attend the shows or their dogs aren't even in the shows. So really just, I want to see more positivity and more people working together towards bettering the breed, towards showing the breed for what it actually is and just an amazing, loving companion.
Yeah, they are so loving. Now, how much does Tomato weigh? Would you say?
We just weighed her last weekend. She was like 80 pounds.
80 pounds.
Okay, so see, I like that because Blue, my pitty's about 78, 79. And I like that size.
Yes.
But it seems like the bullies are more mellow. I mean, Blue definitely, once he gets his exercise out, he'll just sit and cuddle with you all day. But my daughter, my 19-year-old daughter, will try to cuddle with him and he'll like walk away and she'll, why isn't he? Because he hasn't exercised yet. Let me walk him for an hour and then he will literally just be a big mush on you the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But what about
the exercise is important.
Sure.
And that's actually one of the reasons we really enjoy this breed is because of the laid back quality to them. It really is a huge difference. And like I said, again, going back to different dogs in our experiences, there is such a huge difference in this breed compared to a lab, a golden retriever, a poodle, a pit bull. I mean, just the energy, and all small dogs have more energy. Just like, I've never met such a calm dog. It's very nice. And some are more calm than others. Voodoo is our most calm, I would say. But this one's obviously pretty good.
Again, if people are listening, go to the YouTube page when you're done or and just put in Bully Girl Magazine and all the podcasts come up. You have to see Tomato. I'm just in love. She just gives off Blue vibes, which of course are my favorite vibes. Now, is there anybody that you look up to in the bully world?
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of people that we look up to in the bully world.
I would have to mention one person, Daryl Thrower, that we have a lot of respect for. He's been in the bully world for a very long time. We take a lot of his mentality when it comes to vets and nutrition and exercise and the whole athletic temperament capacity of a dog. All that is really, I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge. I wish he was online even more.
Lots of that. Fred Duran, Mark, who owns Grand Champion Dooley, Mark and Tamara Wagner, who own Grand Champion Samson. These are people that we've worked with and who really, again, they do that, put the bully in a good light, put it in the light that it deserves, show them for what they really are.
Yeah, we've gotten to get to know Fred Duran a lot more because Voodoo's going to be breeding with Dooley very soon in the next 2 weeks. So we're lucky enough to have that set up to where we can talk to him. And of course, he's an ABKC judge. So we know, he gives us extra support. And just to have that, he's such a good person. And his dogs are also raised in the home, just such a down to earth person. Another person on the East Coast who I feel like is very good-hearted and has their heart in the right place is Danny Cervantes, Mr. Second to None. He is just a great, genuine, nice guy who really cares, and he's really doing a lot of positive things for the bully community.
Oh, that's great. I'm looking at this beautiful bully. I know what sweethearts they are, and it's breaking my heart even more about what's going on in the UK. I mean, what the expletive.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Like they just don't get it. And, I did a whole interview with Dave Wilson from the ABKC. And
we watched it.
Right. Oh, good. All the statistics show that these bans do not work. They don't do anything.
Right.
And they just keep doing them. And I'm just looking at your sweetheart saying, thank God you're not in the UK. But I feel so badly for our friends who are.
Mm-hmm.
It's just terrible.
Absolutely. It's an absolute shame. And we know we've got friends over in the UK who've got American bullies, and their dogs are super sweet. You see them. You see them with the families. You see them interacting with other dogs. And it's a shame. It's a real shame that the incidents that have happened in the UK did happen. And
But they're also talking about dogs who are differently bred.
yeah, they're not.
They're not really full American bullies. So
Yes, and that's very important.
That's the unfortunate misunderstanding of the the populace, that they're not seeing that these dogs are not exactly the same. They might have, what are the other breeds inside of them?
Oh, there's all kinds of Alapaha, there's Mastiff, there's they're band dogs essentially, dogs that are breeding a pit to a Mastiff or a Staffordshire to a Mastiff.
But I mean, it's just like a beagle. If you breed it to something else, the offspring is no longer a beagle. That's just, you can't call it.
That's what I think is lacking in the UK. It's just like here, everything that looks like a pit bull, people call pit bulls.
Right.
But there's very seldom you actually see a purebred pit bull. They're very, very rare to actually see. But every dog gets called a pit bull. Our dogs get called pit bulls all the time.
Now, I just want to know, what do you guys think of Bully Girl magazine?
We love Bully Girl magazine. We love what you guys do. You guys do exactly what we're talking about. You put the breed in a good light.
You get a chance to read about other people from other places in the United States, and I think a little bit out in the world too, which is really nice to kind of get a whole picture of just them on a few pages. It's nice.
And I like that it's many different perspectives, and it's not just one breed. You guys talk about all different kinds of breeds, and you have all different types of people on there. And I like it. When we say this is our passion, this is a real, true passion, and we are hungry for information. So any source of good information, we just eat it up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. Well, you guys are fantastic. Was there anything today that we didn't touch on that we were hoping you guys were hoping we would?
Yeah, there is one thing. It's something that we get a lot of hate on our page often, especially when we do have a litter of puppies. We'll have people asking us, why are you a breeder? And you're terrible, hateful people. And why are you breeding? And the whole same kind of perspective of the people who say adopt, don't shop. So first off, for all the people who think that we are breeders and, what I want to say is there is a reason to adopt and there's a reason to purchase a puppy.
Right.
We have had many dogs. So, I mean, most of our dogs.
The dog that we showed you earlier, Riri, who was the best man at my wedding, the best dog I ever owned, was an adopted dog.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with adopted dogs are great. I wish everybody would adopt a dog as well as buy one.
Yeah, me too.
But there is a reason to buy a dog, because people also need to reason the reason there are beagles and labs is because people breed them.
Exactly.
There's a lot of hate just because of this breed. I think that comes in. People probably don't attack poodle breeders as much, or Yorkie breeders or things like that. But the biggest reason is because, getting a puppy, who its parents are from us. Right. You know that this dog came from Ladybird, and you know who her father is. You know her whole pedigree. Go ahead.
You can go back, if you get a dog from us, you can go back to the very first day of that dog's life, and you can see the video. You can see all the videos of us doing the early neurological stimulation. You can see
when Ladybird was pregnant. You can see when Ladybird was a puppy.
And you can see the love that they get, and you can see the socialization that they get. And when you have kids or you have family that you live with, you want to know where those dogs came from. If and when you adopt a dog, and this is not anti-adoption because we've adopted many dogs, but you do not know the history of those dogs. You don't know what kind of trauma those dogs have gone through. You don't know what kind of genetic diseases those dogs might carry.
I think especially people with children and people who are not dog aficionados, people who are not dog trainers like we are, who can just pull any dog out of the pound and be like, okay, you're my new family member. People that, if you're new to dogs, it's a risk to get a dog from the. I mean, you're going to certainly need to get a trainer, and help you through things, unless you have like a perfect one, which sure happens.
That's with any dog. Any dog.
Yeah. Dog needs training, but our dogs, a dog that you get from a good breeder, you know where it's coming from.
And that's important. A good breeder, not a backyard breeder, not a puppy
mill. No pet stores. Yeah. No, I'm so glad you brought that up because I'm a big rescue person. All my dogs have been rescued. I've been really lucky though. I mean, my first Bailey was great. My pit mix, amazing. Then we got a Irish Setter German Shepherd, Bobo, who was amazing.
Bobo, I love that name.
I met Blue when he was 6 months old. I met him. I was walking Benji and his brother Milo, who we had to rehome, by the way, because the two of them just were not good together. And I had a lot of shame about that, but it was better for both of them.
Right.
And so I knew Blue since he was 6 months. And then I started taking care of him several days a week. And then he became mine. We did, and I've shared this before, so I'll keep it brief, but we did get a pit bull from a shelter, and he tried to kill my older dog, Bobo, and attack my husband. So we had to bring him back. And luckily, we just fostered. We didn't sign up to adopt. Luckily, he did get a good home, but, I also have a daughter on the autism spectrum with some other issues. And, we just have been lucky, but I never thought I would buy a puppy. But now after getting to know everybody, now I'm like, crap, who's it going to be? I love I love everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some hesitancy at first because I was like, I don't know. And I've had some people that turned me down to come on the show, which I think is a real shame.
Yeah.
I had a vet turn me down, and I'm thinking, you don't want to just help dogs that are here, or people who cares where they got them,
Right.
But
Yeah,
I do like the idea of adopting and having a bought one if you can. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah, if you have the room, if we had the room, we would have so many dogs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I think there's a place for both.
Right.
It's helpful also to be getting a puppy, because a puppy, then from the start, all the flaws, what to do for training, you've trained it right, why things happen, and it's easier to diagnose problems. If there's an issue with training, you can easily talk to a trainer and fix those issues.
That's true.
But if you are in a home where you don't have to think about how did that puppy grow up, or you don't have to worry about little kids and stuff being around it,
right?
100% adopt.
And you have the
dog,
time.
adopt an older dog.
Right? You have the time to put into it.
Put in, if you have the money for the training, all that, 100% adopt.
Just like your mom, she tried to adopt a dog, and he turned out that it was a poor little Frenchie, and he was just biting everybody and continued.
No.
So she tried her best to train him out of it, but sometimes you just can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't fix every dog, but we appreciate everybody who tries, and every dog deserves a chance.
Yes. Well, know that we appreciate you, of course, and I'm sorry that I don't know why people just mind their own business, right? Also, just mind your own business. You want to adopt, good. You want to buy a dog, good. Just do what works for you and your family.
Exactly.
Honestly, it's a really a lot more stigma on this breed.
Yes,
I do not believe Labrador Retriever breeders get any hate, or pointers.
Well, I'm sure everybody gets some hate, but not nearly
as much. No, it's funny because I was glad you said that, because I wanted to touch on that. I know a family who all they ever get is Goldens, and they post their golden puppy on Instagram, which is fine, and it's nonstop love. Everybody knows they didn't go and adopt that puppy.
Right.
Now, when we rehomed Milo, we went through a rescue for retrievers, for labs, which I didn't think there was such a thing. So that was kind of cool too, to be able to go, if someone does want to rescue a certain breed, they can find it, but they probably have issues, right? And again, that's where the time comes in. But no, if you're getting like a BGM Frise, no one's giving you any shit. Let's be honest. It's really annoying. So yes, it's definitely the breed. And
sometimes I want to be like, just stop, take a second. Go look at our videos. Right. Go look at the love that the dogs get and how sweet and loving and kind they are before you make that comment.
I will get into one more last thing.
Of course.
That is also kind of annoying, but we kind of understand also the cropped ears fact. I haven't heard anybody talk about this too much on your show.
Someone brought it up on the last episode I did. Which I have that on my mind as well.
I wanted to address it because just for the same reason we were just talking about other breeders, many dogs in other breeds have adjustments done to their body. Now, I'm not saying you should do it, and that's a fact. With ours, they do not come this way. If you would like their ears cropped, that is up to you. You don't have to. And certainly the reason we do it is because we show them, and that's kind of the look of the breed.
Right.
We breed them, and people like this look, and that's the look we're doing. And we like it. Okay. It's also, it's
part of the look of the breed.
To be perfectly honest, also, there will be some people who will say the ears get cropped for some kind of health purpose. That is not true. It is a look, and that is it.
Yeah, okay? That's what I've heard.
There are not less or more ear infections with cropped ears. Now, if you had a dog that was like, when I was in the Azores, when I was in the military, they had dogs that were actual herding dogs in the fields with other animals, getting their body parts bitten by sheep. That's a true, real thing that you might need to crop a dog's tail.
Right.
This is a Yorkie. He has his tail cropped.
I never knew that.
But nobody complains about that. nobody also knows, as dog groomers, we also know all the breeds people never really notice that have adjustments made to them, and these things have been happening for thousands of years. Poodles, for example, nobody knows poodles' tails are docked. Aussies. I mean, there's hundreds. I mean,
Really? I didn't know
Rottweilers,
that.
Dobermans. There's thousands of breeds. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it is a thing with this breed. We do get a lot of hate. Like I said, it is a complete choice on your own. I like floppy ears too.
I love floppy ears.
Our Presa Canario, we decided not to have his ears cropped.
Because he was just a pet dog. We didn't show him, so there was no need to crop the ears.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I love Blue's floppy ears. I love them, but he got a hematoma, so the entire ear flap thing fills with blood. It literally was like this big. It was flipping horrible, and they didn't want to drain it. I'm like, he's miserable, so they're just going to come back. So you drain it. Then he wears this cute little bonnet. Oh my god, he was so adorable. And now we're thinking, and he keeps getting ear infections. But you're right, it doesn't matter if it's cropped or not. But now the vet's saying, and we've got several opinions, that he might want to have a total ear ablation, which means they're going to take everything out and he'll be deaf in that ear, but he'll never have an ear infection. I know it seems so drastic, but he always has ear infections. And
those are painful.
I know, it's miserable. It's miserable. So, but I do like the floppy ears, but again, it's up to the people. And if you're showing them, that's a whole different thing. Now, do you have dogs that just go to people as pets? Because that's what I would love. Or are they usually shown or bred?
Most of our dogs go to pet homes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
most
nice.
of them. I think
we do on purpose. We purposely tried to just pet home once in a while, a breeder, but not as we try to pet home as much
mainly
as possible.
pet home.
Oh, okay.
And then if they're interested in our dog because of how our dog looks and they want to crop their dog's ears with their vet, then that's fine. Go ahead. And of course, back to the cropped ears thing.
Yeah.
A vet must do it. It is not somebody's job. It is a vet under sedation, heart being monitored, all those things, pain, pain medicine, everything. It's not an easy.
How could you just do? I can't even think about that. That's just horrifying.
It's done. It's done.
Really?
It's been done. I think more in the past. I think it's getting less done. Thank goodness. But
wow.
Yeah.
They're so cute together, by the way. Both you and your husband and the dogs.
He drives him absolutely crazy.
Does
it's
he?
So funny.
So you're saying Tomato drives what's your Yorkie's name again?
Herbie.
He drives Tomato drives Herbie crazy.
Yeah. Most of our dogs, he kind of serves a purpose in our pack.
He does.
He teaches our dogs boundaries. He doesn't let them push boundaries, and he nips at them if they get too close or if they get too much with him. He nips at them, and they learn, hey, back off. It's funny because believe it or not, he's the alpha.
That's the way we run our house. Humans, then Herbie, and it's for a purpose because not only is he a very dominant dog. I mean. He's more aggressive than any dog in this house.
He's a jerk.
He's a jerk. He's the only one that barks at the door.
It's really funny.
It is very important to have a structure in the house, an established hierarchy, and that keeps everything running smoothly. And because he's so small and delicate, and especially he's really old now, so Tomato, when she runs over him, I cringe because his legs could break. But as long as he is the dominant one, that means she's not allowed to mess with him. Okay. So that's how it's always been. All our puppies learn that, don't mess with him. He's in charge. Sorry.
Even from the puppy stage, even brand new newborn puppies, when they're around him and they start to get a little bit, 3-4 weeks old running around, they try to challenge him too, and he puts them all in their place. He's a good teacher for our dogs.
He is absolutely beautiful. This has been such an enjoyable conversation. You guys are absolutely awesome. Tell us again where everyone can find you.
Okay. All right. So our Instagram is our main platform where all of our videos are the most high quality. So find us at Heart and Soul Bullies on Instagram, all spelled out, Heart and Soul Bullies. And then we have a website, which is www for all the over 40s out there, heartandsoulbullies.com. He tells me not to say www anymore.
Nobody said www.
I know. I sometimes do, and then I sometimes don't.
Have, YouTube, TikTok. What else?
We're on Facebook too.
It's the same name. Yeah, his Facebook is Stephen LeDuc, and all of our videos go onto his Facebook.
And that's LE and then DUC, right? Capital L,
yes, ma'am.
E, capital
LEDUC.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the only other thing is never hesitate to reach out if you guys watch this interview and you want to ask us questions. Never hesitate to reach out. We're always
teachers.
Open. We're teachers.
We share information for free. Yep.
Well, this has been awesome. Now, everybody, please subscribe to Bully Girl Magazine. Download the Bully Girl mobile app. It's available in the Apple and Google Play stores. Go to BGMwarehouse.com. Left out the www, even though I'm over 40.
Yeah, good.
And let's see. Oh, and you can follow at Bully Girl Meg and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lisa Davis MPH so you can see my good boys. Everybody, thanks so much. Rate, review, subscribe, and keep coming back.